So we're here to talk about context for learning. It's my first ever context for learning video, so I'm pretty excited. And it's the first week of school, right? So on this first week of school, we're actually going to spend 2 days just introducing context for learning, investing kids in it, telling them why we do it, teaching them the pieces, and then we'll do our first full problem from the developing the context all the way to the Math Congress in the last 3 days. Something to know for third grade is that even this 3 days where we're technically doing like the T-shirt factory for real, we're doing supplements. And the reason is because we really wanted to do some rounding before the kids actually learned to round in my math. A lot of kids round kind of by rote. They learn a trick, and we want them to really solidify in their mind that rounding means close to, and by giving them an investigation, we're hoping that they can kind of discover the rounding trick a bit for themselves. And so we supplement even here. We don't start the real T-shirt factory until August 15th. So that's fine. It means you don't have to read the book, so that's kind of exciting for you. But it does mean that it was like from Lisa's brain and maybe is a little bit, there's like less support, but I think it'll be okay. It's a first foray, and we'll just keep growing and learning as we go. So let me talk you through the intro to context for learning. Basically, every day I'm going to try to give you the materials you're going to need for that day and really keep you clear on like what part you're on. And you're going to tell the kids like there are many different ways to learn. And during this part of the day, we're going to learn math in a really special way. We call it problem of the day. So first of all, just like there's a my math part of math and there's a problem of the day part of math. Let's think about a baby. And teachers, this is where you're really going to sell it. You know, you'll ask kids quickly like, how does a baby learn to walk? They'll say maybe a few different things. Parents hold its hands, push them over. And then you can take a little minute to like give your spiel, give your pitch to say, you know, when a baby learns to walk, the baby learns by walking. And no one can move the baby's legs for it. No one can tell the baby exactly what to do. The baby really has to try. And sometimes the baby falls and sometimes the baby cries. But like, no one is like, okay, take your right foot, baby, and let's practice. Just move your right foot over and over and over. Okay, and move your left foot. And no one's like, sorry, baby, you have to stay here by yourself and practice until you learn to walk, right? Like this baby learns to walk by walking and trying to walk. And that's math too. Like in our My Math class, actually, we try to discover a lot of things together, but a lot of times like we have a goal and I'm really helping you directly, telling you some of these big ideas. But there's also a big part of math that's you figuring it out for yourselves, like that baby learning to walk. And so we're going to really take like big risks here, just like that baby who's kind of probably a little bit scared, right? Well, like, oh my God, I might fall down. We're going to take some big risks just solving problems together. And I'm not going to have one right way for you to do it. It's going to be about you just like trying. And when you try, you'll grow and grow and grow and learn and learn and learn. Just like a baby who tries to walk eventually walks. It's really kind of cool. So there are many different, I'm going backwards. So we're not just going to learn math. We're going to do math. And we're going to be mathematicians. We're going to talk a lot about like what mathematicians really do. Because big hint, they don't just solve worksheets about other people all day. That's part of it. But there's other things too. So there's going to be 5 different parts that we can do. We sometimes have a mini lesson. We sometimes have our problem intro. We sometimes have work time, poster time, or math congress. These are the different things we can do. You don't know maybe what these mean yet, but I'm going to tell you what they mean. And teachers, this would be a good anchor chart, I think. Like, put this on a board maybe and like have little notes about what is happening or something like that, right? To like help them know kind of where they are in the problem of the day, you know? So today, let's start with a mini lesson. I will show you a problem, you will think and put a thumbs up, and then we'll do a turn and talk, or I'll call on someone and we'll share. We'll do this a few times, and I'll write things down to help us. And then teachers, here's a mini lesson. Oops, sorry, I'll fix this animated so it just pops up. I'm going to take you through a mini lesson. We call it a number string. Basically, you're going to do this rapid fire. You don't need to take all day. Set the timer so that it doesn't go past 5 minutes, in fact. And you're just going to, the goal here is not necessarily to teach the math, although some good math is going to come up in terms of adding and all of that. It's more to teach, the structure and to be like, okay, so how did that feel? How is that different than our regular math class? What are we going to have to do to learn this way? Isn't it cool, right? So on this day, you're taking them through an introduction, you're taking them through the mini lesson, and then you're going to introduce the problem. Okay, the problem intro. And you see why having an anchor chart of this would be really useful to be like, okay, that's the mini lesson. During the mini lesson, we use our thumbs as a hint, right? Okay, problem intro. During the problem intro, we use our ears, right? I'm going to tell you a story and ask you to help me solve a problem. And you just have to start thinking and getting ready to solve. This doesn't have to take long if we have perfect listening, because I'm just going to share that story and you help me figure it out. Let's try. Ready? Really simple. I have these 2 subs. This is true. I really have 2 subs with me today, and I want to share them with my 2 other friends after school. So there's 3 of us that need to share these subs. Really simple problem, right? How do I share my 2 subs with 3 people? Have someone retell this, to have a turn and talk, tell your partner the story. Guys, that's it. We just did the intro to the problem. So now we've got our mini lesson, we've got our intro to the problem, and then you just work. You can offer these things during work time. These are my tips. Definitely let them, or add your own if you think. One of the things I want to really point out to you that you should mention to them, and I want you to make a habit, is that there should always be other tools, not just the blank paper and the pencil. So, for example, in this one, I'm going to give I'm asking you to give the kids blank paper, graph paper, rulers, and Unifix cubes. None of these rulers and Unifix cubes really help. Actually, and you know what would be really great is calculators, because the calculators don't really help either. Sometimes we have a bunch of tools, and actually, a good old-fashioned picture is the right tool, right? But part of learning is choosing tools, and so you definitely want to mention, during work time, there are tools up in the front of the room available. Here are our problem of the day tools, and, you get to choose. And then you launch into work time. So, again, just as a summary, you're teaching them these 2 days, the parts of the block, and so far, you will have gotten through with them these 3 on that first day. Rapid fire, because you also had to sell it. And again, this is just to try it on, just to get some investment and reflect and build some enthusiasm as a class for what it is you're going to do during this block. And so just, try your best. It's not that high stakes, right? The next day, okay. Remind the class what a baby has to do with math. Here's our 5 parts, right? Yesterday we practiced the top 3. Now we're going to practice the bottom 2, right? What was that problem we had to try to figure out? Okay. So now it's poster time, and poster time has 2 parts. You get to make the poster, and then we do a gallery walk. These are kids doing a gallery walk. They're looking at each other's posters, okay? Here's the thing you need to really know. It's okay to have cross-outs. It's more important that that paper has your ideas than that paper is perfect, right? We're just trying to share our thinking. Great. Let's make your posters from yesterday's problem. Nice and quick, you guys. Let's do the gallery walk. Nice and quick. All you need to do is give them a Post-it and have them start writing. You're not trying to make it perfect. You're just trying to get that muscle memory built in. So you're not giving so many directions when you try to do this for real, right? Let's have a math congress. And if all that happens is one kid gets up and is like, I think we should split these subs in half, you're going to have a leftover sub and save it for tomorrow, fine. We're not here to learn about 2/3. If that comes up, great, have that kid share. But all you're caring about, again, is developing that muscle memory, right? So, okay, now we're about to do a math congress. You're going to listen, and that's it. Like, no, I'm sorry. You're going to listen and think, right? And we're going to talk about what you hear. And that's all. So you're just trying to build a lot of enthusiasm. When you start the next day, so the next day you're going to be like, okay, now it's time to start for real. That was just our practicing, so I could tell you, right, what Context for Learning was. Now, when you start the Real T-Shirt Factory, the Real T-Shirt Factory has a whole thing where you're like establishing amounts of T-shirts in rolls and in singles and in boxes, and then eventually kids, you practice like selling these T-shirts and getting more T-shirts and all of that. We actually don't start that way. We start with, there we go. I was wondering where that was. We start with practice with rounding. And so you have 3 days. And on the first day, you read a little bit of this story, and then you present this problem. I have 10 kids. Oh, I'm sorry, not 10. 6 kids. They're all these different heights. These are their heights, right? But here's what the T-shirt company's sizes are. And I want you to help me figure out which T-shirts to order. Now, here's the trick. Shirts might be a little tight or might be a little loose. Like, that's just reality. It's okay. Like, we're just trying to get close, right? It's not going to be perfect, obviously. But, like, we want to try to get as close as possible because that'll fit the person better, right? So see if you can figure out what shirts these people should wear with your teams. And even better, if you really get far, see if you come up with a rule for figuring out what T-shirt anyone could wear. Because that would be really useful, right, if we could always figure it out. So get started. And then they work. That's your first day. So you've already pitched what problem of the day is, right? You're just beginning. Like, this problem is going to be all about this T-shirt factory. Here we go. Figure this out. They work. The next day, they worked on that problem. It's time to make their poster. They get the whole day to make that poster. So they have a really long time to have worked this out and then tried to share their ideas, right? And then the third day of that week, you do a gallery walk. So you remind them, okay, what was our problem? Here are the rules of the gallery walk. And then you have your share. Time to share. Here are some questions I might ask. This is a lot of words, actually, to be like, this is a gallery walk. Here are the rules. Here are some things we could write as comments. You know, now it's time to share. I think I'm going to edit these down for you because the truth is, like, this doesn't need to be complicated. It's not like this big presentation where you're lecturing the kids. You're like, it's time for the gallery walk. The gallery walk means you get to see each other's posters and leave some comments. You'll keep working on it as the year goes on, right? Trust them to, like, put thoughtful comments. Maybe give them a few sentence starters. But then, okay, it's time to share. Everybody come to the carpet. Let's listen to this group share out, and then we'll talk about what they did and see if everybody understands. So I don't mean to make it more complicated. You're basically on this day doing one complete cycle. So we talked about those 5 pieces, right? I'll find them again. Those 5 pieces that are the problem of the day, and you're just doing those 5 pieces over the 3 days, right? So that's right here. You get through, develop the context, investigate, poster making, gallery walk, math congress. The only thing you don't do is a number string. That will come back up. Like, mini lessons don't happen every day. They just come back up. So it'll be good.